Okay, it's time to call the meeting to order. We'll start with introductions. Kevin.
Alderman at Large Kevin Stumick.
Go ahead.
Kelly Mashi, Weisenegger Engel Insurance.
Connie Hillman, City Finance Director. Jennifer Bergman, City Administrator.
Nate Olin, Weisenegger Engel Insurance.
Kara Terry, Ward 1.
Brian Pike, Northland Arboretum, Representative.
Candace Zimmerman, Executive Director of Northland Arboretum. Teresa Berg, Brainerd Dispatch.
Tim Holland, Brainerd Fire.
Chris Schubert, HR Director.
And Gabe Johnson, Chair of the committee. We have 6 quick items tonight, the first of which is the LMCIT premium renewal for March 23 through February 24.
Yes, so our policy renewed March 1st, and we have Nate and Kelly here to talk about any changes or any questions that the council may have with our renewal.
Yep. So premium is up about 5% overall. The majority of that premium is coming up from the property and also the general liability. General liability is based on expenditures averaged over the last 3 years. I do have a breakout by department along with the coverages and the differences from last year to this year if anybody would like to see it. I think Connie has
We
that
have
on
it in the
her.
packet as well. Whoops. Maybe if I go this way. Oh, shoot.
All of the property values were also increased by 4% just due to the inflation.
So this
Go
one-
back one page.
If I can.
There we go. So you can see the difference in each department by property or inland marine equipment. Liability is where it really took a hit. And again, that was the majority of the expenditures of where that came up. Everything else is pretty flat from last year. If you scroll down a little bit more, it goes. There you go. The coverages, so we went from 403, 301 to 460, 260 is where you're at for your renewal from March 1st, 23 to March 1st, 24.
And with BPU picking up the biggest share.
Correct.
So we budgeted about a 5.5% increase, and the city's portion was about a 10%. So we were under budget for the whole entire city, not just the working funds, about 8,900. So, and again, a lot of that was the value was in the expenditures that we just didn't know, where the premiums actually changed kind of consistently of what we thought, but the values just increased. Inflation, everything else.
Okay, any questions?
Last year, we added a cyber policy.
Yep.
And we have that renewed again this year. Is there anything else that we should consider as far as the cyber? I know our IT sends out emails makes us do training. But if there's anything else that you would suggest or recommend in any areas, I guess, but cyber is one I'm really interested in.
Yeah, right now where you're at with your cyber, the League of Minnesota Cities feels comfortable, along with the training that you guys are receiving, to stay where you're at. Every year, we always offer a $1 million excess liability. This year, it's coming in at $40,614. If you were to go with something like that, it would increase your limits, but then you gotta take a look at the premium as well to see if that would offset it.
Okay, any questions?
None.
We have a motion to approve the insurance renewal.
I would make a motion to approve the insurance renewal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you for coming.
Councilman, can I add one thing, or we pass the period of comments?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to thank you for placing confidence in Weisenegger Engel to protect your exposures here, and we're very proud to represent you. And I have not been here long, but I have been engaged in some of the communications between your team, Connie and Jennifer specifically, and They're very on top of the details and made sure everything is covered the way it should be from our perspective. So thank you for your cooperation and communication.
That's good to hear, thank you.
And I thank you guys for working with us. You guys do great.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
All right, second item is to consider a request to extend the Northern Arboretum's agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Maybe I'll just start by introducing. We did get a formal request from the Northland Arboretum to extend their agreement to December 31st of 2026, which would align with the other organizations that receive the charter contribution. Candace Zimmerman is here to provide some background information if you would like.
Thank you all for allowing me to present today. So, been about a year since the 18-month agreement was put in place, and I'm happy to say that we're pleased with our growth and the impact that we're having to the Brainerd community. First around the impact around awareness and just building that engagement level with the community, as well as membership. Happy to say that we're increasing our membership month after month, as well as retaining our members, which is huge. The percentage of, so right now we're at 1,359 members as of the end of February. And it is now 24% Brainerd residents living within city limits, and that's up from 22% last year. And then we just see that as, you know, a great, a positive trend, and we're going to keep that going. And I think that's mostly to do with our the impact that we've made in our education programming, really building some awareness around there and partnering with the school districts to get that nature curriculum out there. And that's the greatest amount of impact. So biggest question on your minds might be why now? And well, we're coming up at the halfway mark of our fiscal year, and we're looking to budget and looking to kind of take those strategies to the next level. An education coordinator position would be some great capacity in order to keep going. So really just appreciate your time and your partnership so far and the consideration of the extension through 2026.
Okay, Jennifer, council directed you to create a work group with the county and the city of Baxter to try and figure out this long-term situation. Where are you at with that?
So thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, direction was to create a work group. Candace actually did create a work
Well,
group.
we don't employ Candace, we employ you.
Right, you do, and the motion was to create a work group. We believed that the best person to create the work group was the Arboretum, since they were the ones trying to solicit funds outside of the city of Brainerd. So Candace took the lead, invited city administrator from the city of Baxter, the county administrator, Tim Hool, who politely declined to
I've asked for
participate.
that in writing. Do we have that in writing yet?
That he politely declined?
Yeah, the county board declining to participate in this discussion.
The county board did not decline, the county administrator declined. I've had subsequent conversations with Steve Barrows, who I think is interested in engaging in conversations on this. Correct. We met twice. Candace presented a financing, I think it's included in there, some fundraising strategies on how to lessen the dependence on the city of Brainerd's levy. And then also the dashboard. I know Candace had created that as well. Does that answer your question, Mr. Chair?
No.
All right.
You have any other questions, or?
I do not have any questions. I serve as the liaison to the ARB. As you know, I'm newer to this role. I appreciate the effort that Candace has put into what the council requested, and I am in favor of extending the timeline on the ARB's grant to match the other two grants. So I can make that motion to approve their request.
Can we still have questions?
Let's get a second, we can still continue discussion.
Huh?
You gonna second it or not? And then
No, I'll
we'll-
second it.
And then, go ahead. Okay.
I don't know if I'm in favor of extending it all the way to 26, just because your strategy, I think, is very good, and I think that's a step in the right direction. I'm gonna still vote yes. But I think maybe another year, a year and a half, 2 years might be appropriate, but I will support the motion for 26.
Okay, I won't. I mean, last year, it was a 4-3 vote. 4 people thought 18 months was a fair runway. It seemed like it was appreciated at the time. It doesn't seem so much anymore. And 3 of us were against any of the funding because the Arboretum, while they're saying they want to be treated like the other organizations that receive a mill levy, they just simply aren't. The Arboretum had gone to the ballot twice and failed miserably both times. This isn't a taxpayer, this isn't a voter-initiated referendum. This was initiated by a city council about 20 years ago because the ARB needed a quick infusion of cash, otherwise they weren't gonna be able to succeed anymore. This has been over 20 years, and they're in worse financial shape right now than they were 20 years ago. So the longer we fund them, I fear the worse shape we're putting the Arboretum in, and being dependent on the city of Brainerd. So, and not just the city of Brainerd, it's not the city, it's not Connie and Jennifer paying this, right? It is the poorest citizens in Crow Wing County financing the leisurely activities of the wealthiest among us, and that's just ethically wrong. So I will be voting against it. Okay.
Had there not been a plan like you have here, I'd have probably supported Gabe. But since there's a plan, and it takes a long time to get funding rolling and get your feet wet and get them established, that's why I support them.
Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Aye. Thank you. Okay, next up, retirement of Battalion Chief Joe Rubato.
Beto, yep.
Rubato.
No. This up front, I'm telling you.
Yeah, so last week I received a letter of resignation from Battalion Chief Joe Beto, extending that out to the end of July, which gives us some time to fill his position and then backfill a captain's spot. Joe's been with the department for 26 years. Obviously started a firefighter up to captain and then battalion chief for the last few years. So a lot of great knowledge. He's been a great leader, a great friend, and done a lot for the fire department and the community. So as much as I want to say I don't want to see him go, I certainly respect his decision, and he's contributed a lot to the community. So if you just would accept his letter of resignation, and effective July 31st, 2023.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept with regret. Any discussion? I have a question. 26 years is a long time. Do some people serve longer than that? Oh, you did. You were like 45 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, he's the longest so far. Now the next would be Dave Cox. He has been there
24.
probably 24, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a long career.
Tim and I had this talk last week about not many people are stupid and go for 40 years. However, the 20-year mark is becoming really rare. I think Tim will support that. Now it's that 15 to 20.
And 20, you're fully vested
Yes,
in the pension,
correct.
right? So at 21, you're not getting anything more.
No.
No, other than your years of service.
Yeah.
But it's not a percentage more, that you're at 100% at 20 years.
Because people rarely, it's getting to where they retire before 20 years.
Yeah.
That's the new
Yeah.
standard now.
Yeah. And I would say the pension, the way it is, the value in the pension keeps people for that 20 years. And like I mentioned before, that's a great retention tool that we have, is the great job that they've done with their pension program, so.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, that motion carries. Next up, the PUC, the Water and Light Department.
Four.
Huh?
Approval of hiring firefighters.
Oh, yeah, whoop, paid on call, here we go, sorry.
I got
Next
you.
up, chief, go ahead.
So again, obviously, we've been anticipating some retirements. One came just here, so just asking for permission to start the hiring process. We'd conduct our testing in May, hopefully hire by August 1st. Requesting to hire 2 to 4 firefighters, trying to stay around that 40 mark. We're currently at 38 firefighters, so really good number. It'll be 37 when Joe leaves at the end of July, but hopefully we can fill his spot and more as we move forward. So.
I will make the motion.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve firefighter hiring list and hire up to 4 paid-on-call firefighters. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Now we got the water and light department. Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening. At the March 6th City Council meeting, a work group was formed to discuss the organizational structure of the Brainerd Public Utilities Department. The work group met on March 10th, and we included a copy of the meeting report in your packet. To summarize, after reviewing Flaherty and Hood's attached recommendation, again, that was also in your packet, the work group recommended that the department be under the direction of one department head. That position should be titled Public Utilities Director, and that position will oversee the entire BPU department, including all division supervisors and employees. In addition, the work group reviewed and recommended approval of the attached Public Utility Director's job description. And the work group also recommended that we utilize an internal-only job posting process. The BPU Commission at its March 28th meeting recommended approval of the job description as presented and also to conduct that internal-only job posting process. Further, that the council start an external job posting process as soon as possible if there are no qualified internal applicants. It was also discussed at the BPU Commission meeting that the 2023 BPU Superintendent and Finance Director wage grid be utilized for this job posting process to allow Flaherty and Hood additional time to conduct our classification and compensation study. I did want to note there is a typo on the job description. In the education area, it says 2, but in parentheses, it says 3. I told Jeff Chesak he failed the test because he did not catch it first. I got it when I did. So with that, we're asking for a motion to approve the Public Utilities Director job description as presented, and further to conduct an internal-only job posting process as recommended by the work group and the BPU Commission, utilizing the 2023 BPU Superintendent and Finance Director wage grid.
I so move.
Second.
Anything you have to add to that, Karen? You were our liaison there.
No, I think the discussion was, I told you it was quite brief. We were able to get to an agreement quite quickly, and I'm happy with the outcome, so.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Then this last one is, I don't think we have any action necessary, more of an informational, I think. Just the PUC passed a policy and you're letting us know about it, right?
Mr. Chair, actually, we had discussed this internally, thought it would be best to have the city council also approve the banner policy since they're on our poles. The city actually owns them, and so the discussion was it would be good to have the council actually formally adopt this banner policy. It's included in your packet. The BPU Commission did adopt this on March 28th. And really what this does is kind of outlines the size, the cost, insurance if somebody's going to do it on their own, really clarifies what is permitted, the type of banner, and then as I mentioned, the size and cost, and then who's responsible for the cost.
So does this policy supersede the policy they passed like a year and a half ago but didn't follow?
They really didn't approve a policy. What went before the commission was maybe a 3-sentence policy, and they asked staff to go back and get a more detailed policy.
So the 3-sentence policy is superseded, yes or no?
It was not passed. They did not adopt that 3-sentence policy.
Okay, well, they adopted a policy when I was the liaison, when DDBC was looking to have banners exchanged in spring and fall. That's the policy I'm asking about.
I'd have to go back and look, Mr. Chair. I know an actual banner policy came before them, like maybe about 9 months ago, but that the commission wanted more detail. But maybe there was something in regards to cost that was adopted. I'm happy to go back and find that out, provide it.
Yeah, so I still think this is just informational. The PUC can pass any policy they want regarding the operations of the PUC, right? And
It's just installing them on our,
and they passed this policy.
they did. Completely up to you, Mr. Chair.
I don't think the action's necessary. Do you guys think?
I think it's fine.
The PUC passed the policy, that's the policy,
Yeah,
right?
works for me.
Okay.
Perfect.
Simple.
All right, anything else to come before committee? No? That will adjourn at 7:20. Good work. There was like 45 minutes of agenda requests there, Connie. I was getting worried.